court tomorrow?
Yeah, I got court. I've been needing to talk to somebody about it because it's been a train wreck and people are lying on me, and it's affected my treatment with the VA. The VA has revoked certain aspects of the VA care system because of all this. So getting all these appointments lined up and everything, it's been harder than usual. And with the backlog, it's already was a burden. Now it's a headache and a half for us because court is impatient with it. And they're not putting my treatment seriously. I mean, they held me hostage for a whole hour without giving me an ambulance when I was like, I need an ambulance. And I was unable to advocate for myself any deeper than saying I need an ambulance. And yeah.
Okay.
That was a whole traumatic experience that I haven't been able to talk to anyone about yet, except for my therapist. And haven't really gotten to get over the trauma of that stuff. Because how am I supposed to trust these people if they can't be trusted with a simple task like getting me an ambulance in a medical emergency?
Sure.
They admitted that they understood that I was having an anxiety attack, and they let me sit there in suffering for an hour in agony.
Right.
So
no, that sounds awful. I've had panic attacks before, and they're really scary sometimes. So I'm really sorry that happened.
Well, the point is, the trauma of all this stuff is just piled on to the decade of trauma that y'all have already caused, because y'all stole my daughter from me just because she was coerced to saying that I did something to her, and y'all overreacted.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know any of those people who have anything to do with stealing your daughter. I definitely did it, and my job is to help you and advocate for you.
I'm completely coherent. I understand the whole situation. I'm not blaming you personally. I'm letting you know.
I just wanted to make sure.
I'm letting you understand that I have deeply rooted traumas from this courthouse. So it is an extreme trigger being around that building, let alone having to do something with that building. And I've been trying to get treatment for it, and I haven't been able to.
Gotcha.
It's a process that's taken a long time because I'm not the only veteran in the system. So my concern here is I need a continuation so that I can get a treatment goal-orientated plan underway instead of just waiting in line because I'm so close to my time, but court is tomorrow, not after it. And it's not like they haven't already informed me that they're impatient about it. They threatened me with it last month, which is what caused me to need an ambulance, because they're abusing their authority in threatening me with harsher charges for not taking a plea deal because they believe I'm guilty as sin when they don't even know the true story of the thing.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know everything that's happened, so I really appreciate you taking the time to explain some of these things to me. You are set for court tomorrow for a preliminary hearing. Have you gone over, do you remember talking about what a preliminary hearing is?
Yeah, but I need that pushed away because that cannot happen for medical reasons.
I don't know that we're going to be able to get that preliminary hearing moved.
It's a medical necessity that it be moved. There's no question about it. It has to be done.
What is a medical necessity?
Because of my mental instability and my physical issues, my medical issues that are wide and very long.
Are you referring to like the trauma of coming up to the courthouse, or are you physically ill with something else? I'm just trying to understand.
Mental illnesses are not understood by the county courthouse. So me trying to explain that my mentality is making me sick makes y'all think I can just man up and then go to court and handle it. Y'all don't understand. I'm in a mental coma, basically.
Yeah.
I am in a fragile state where I have been traumatized and brutalized, and I need to heal from that and get some help with that before I'm forced into something that will make me relapse.
And I hear everything that you're saying about how, you know, you're dealing with these mental health issues and coming to court is really, really difficult and triggering to you. And I certainly don't want to put you in any situation that's bad for your mental health. I just want to be honest with you about my personal ability as your defense counsel to be able to move that court date, because it's not just up to me. It would be up to the district attorney and be up to the judge ultimately whether he allows that to happen. And so I'm just trying to be really careful in how I explain this to you, because I don't want you to think that I'm telling you that I have the ability to go down and move it, because I don't. If it was up to just me, I would just go down and move it for you, but it's not up to me. And so my concern is that if you didn't come to court tomorrow, that the judge could issue a warrant for you.
I understand that, and I'm not trying to have that happen. Just trying to make sure everyone understands I'm going to need an ambulance tomorrow. And this time, it cannot be withheld from me for an hour.
Yeah, I hear you. Are you, I mean, I know you don't want to come to court, but
I have to.
Are these charges against you something that you're wanting to contest, that you're wanting to ultimately have a hearing over, or are you wanting to work out some type of deal?
That's my other thing. I've been too traumatized to go over anything with sound mind and body. So I need the chance to review what is being brought against me. I have not been able to lay eyes on what is being brought against me, so I don't know what I'm fighting. But I do know the gist of it is they're saying I made a terroristic hoax because I said something about blowing up, and they claim that since I don't have any bombs at my house or any explosive material, and I don't have any kind of research on my electronic devices, that it must be a terroristic hoax instead of an actual bomb threat. So they downgraded, they changed the charge from what it was to what it is, to hoax, to terroristic hoax. And then there's one about violating VPO, which needs to be corrected because there's a whole backstory with that, abuse of power. And that's not the first time that VPO has been used against me in this state. That is the third time. And the fact that this time it was done by a fellow veteran made it that much more traumatizing than when you gave when this courthouse, not you specifically, gave my ex-wife a victim restraining order for my daughter because my daughter was coerced into saying that I did something to her, that her brother did to her. And y'all and the district attorneys at the time wanted me arrested on the spot, but I had proof that it was a lie. So the doubt made them not immediately be able to arrest me, but they tried. And I was never able to win that in court because it went from this courthouse directly to the children court, which is where they decided your courthouse did their due diligence, so we're moving on no matter what. Instead of there's a possibility that the child was coerced because of XYZ.
Gotcha.
For once,
I know that you just mentioned that you haven't had the chance to go over the reports or anything. I have those here with me right now. Would you like to go over them on the phone with me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to start by reading just some of I'm going to read the reports in order, okay? So this one says that on June 29th, 2023, I was working in Bricktown as a patrol unit. At 1700 hours, I took a phone from a reporting party who was an employee at River Sport Complex located at 800 River Sport Drive. I contacted reporting party by phone, and reporting party stated that the suspect was on the rowing team for military veterans. Reporting party stated that the suspect was caught smoking marijuana in the parking lot and has caused numerous other problems, so the suspect was banned from coming onto the River Sport property.
Can I make a note right there?
Reporting party stated that suspect called and left a message on the voicemail of River Sport saying the suspect would rather work this out peacefully, but if not, the suspect will blow up River Sport, and the reporting party was given this case number.
Excuse me.
Yes.
That's a trigger, because that's what this soldier did to me at my last duty station. Twisting my words, putting words into my mouth that I did not say, but by taking the words that I did say and changing the meaning around to a definition not the same that was being applied at the same time. Which is why if you hear the voicemails directly, you would see that they're lying.
Okay.
The part about blowing up is a phrase that caused me a lot of pain, because after I was transferred from the county jail to the crisis center, the staff was using that phrase willy-nilly freely, and it was not fair that they're able to use a slang in their workplace. I'm not able to use slang to defend myself in a therapy place, because I was sent there by my therapist at the VA to join the veterans for therapy there.
Gotcha.
And
so what was that slang for?
Blowing up in the media. When someone's phone gets blown up, when your phone gets blown up, when your Facebook gets blown up, your ex. I was listing off their social medias that would blow up with the news that they discriminated against a veteran.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, do you want me to keep reading the reports to you? Because I think I understand what you're saying about that part.
There's another part to it. They also said that this was not the first incident. There was one day a couple weeks before this where I had this kitten I had just acquired, and I couldn't change my plans of the day just because I found a new kitten. So I put the kitten in my sling, brought the kitten along, and after my training and stuff, I'm walking around the complex, and these kids say, "Ooh, kitty," and I offer to let them pet the kitty and stuff, because throughout the past decade, going back to 2014, I've had kitties. Kids want to pet the kitties, okay? But no. These kids decided to run to the management and claim I'm trying to lure them into an empty office to do stuff to them. So that management overreacted with their white fragility, believing the kids. I had to call the 911 and make a whole report about, they're trying to hate crime me over here. They're trying to make a whole gender bias assumption and do a whole thing on this. I talked to the head of security about it. He made me feel like he understood what happened, and that I shouldn't have to worry about it coming up ever again. Now, when I was quote unquote caught smoking marijuana in the parking lot, I'm licensed. I'm allowed to smoke it wherever tobacco is smoked. Tobacco was being smoked in the parking lot under the one shade tree for the entire area. It was June, I needed shade, and I needed my medicine, so I went under the shade and medicated, as I'm allowed to do legally in this state. They jumped to banning me for smoking in the parking lot, as if that is the punishment for smoking in the parking lot, when They actually claimed, and I have an email proving it, they don't ban people for smoking things in the parking lot. They just give them a warning not to smoke in the parking lot. So this place is doing gender discrimination and then medical discrimination against me, as far as what I've learned. Now there's a gray issue with cannabis being not federally legal, so some cops don't want to admit that it's still protected medicine. But unbiased cops will tell you that it is protected medicine. That's why when I was pulled over in Missouri for speeding, the cop didn't bother with it. He just told me about, yeah, this is this. And I was like, oh, thank you. But like, it's basically not even just that. It's that plus more, because that plus what I'm about to tell you is equals exculpatory evidence being hidden by the DA's office. The day that the cops were called, the cops were told that I have a bomb in my satchel, in my sling. The guy was claiming that it's out of place for me to have a sling, so there must be a bomb in it. The managers got together to build this story against me because they wanted to make my ban stick, so I'm not allowed back there ever again because I smoked weed in the parking lot, and because I offered to let some random kids play with my cat that I just found, and probably take it home if their parents would have let them adopt it on the spot, because hey, I've got a cat at home and I don't know how my kitty's gonna react to this kitten. It might try killing it, so it behooves me to pick the best space available for the kitty. That was my thinking during the whole day of, hey, what can I do with this kitty if keeping it is out of the option completely? I gotta be prepared for that. But instead I'm looked at like a pedophile. And I could guess why they wanted to stick with that, because they're really afraid of kids getting kidnapped there, because so many kids go there every day.
Right.
So their fragility in being afraid should not take precedence over the facts of the day, which was, I brought my friend there as a witness to show that, hey, if we have to go to court, I got a witness on my side that can corroborate your behavior towards me when I'm trying to talk this out with you people. And then I go to the media as the next option. Blowing them up is the only logical step after being ignored and swept under the rug. If you're swept under the rug, you got to blow it up in the media. That's what we've been trained the past 21 years. Cell phone cameras, regular cameras, any kind of camera.
I gotcha.
What I'm scared about is it's been both the district attorney's office and the public defender's office making a mockery of this courtroom, the judicial proceedings, and the whole judicial branch of government in general, just because of how they're treating me like this. They're supposed to be fighting for truth and justice, but there is no truth in labeling me a domestic terrorist of all things. I've already been labeled a wife beater, a child beater, and a child molester. Now they want to label me a domestic terrorist, and I haven't even been able to see my doctor about the child molestation stuff first. I'm still trying to get treated for that stuff because I had to make the decision of, am I gonna go allow myself to commit suicide, or am I gonna do something about it? So the fact that I couldn't live with my daughter being kidnapped from me in such a way that I am looked at as someone to murder if ever given the chance, I had to go to extraneous lengths with the VA. I did a decade of their pills. Nothing ever worked. I still do their pills 4 years later. that the only reason I didn't kill myself on New Year's Eve 2019 was because November 2019 I got a cannabis card, and that's God's medicine that helps me make it one more day waiting for my daughter to grow up and have the balls to say, I was forced to tell people my dad's... I can't.
I hear you. That sounds like a whole lot, and I'm sorry that you have experienced all of that.
So for when the DA wants me to let a criminal go that hate crimed me and just let him get away with that is too hurtful and traumatic and scarring right to my soul that I can't breathe. And the fact that they want to lie on me and say all this, that the fact that those managers wanted to build this up to this, to try to make sure my cannabis smoking ass never is allowed back there again. They weaponized the police at me. They swatted me. I didn't have a bomb. I didn't have bomb accusations. I didn't have bomb anecdotes. No, nothing related to bombs. And yet, this many months have passed without me being able to tell the judge that. This many months have been gone by that I've been trying to get the VA to get my scheduled appointments right, but they keep getting deleted and sent out further and further every time I go check myself into the VA. So all the appointments that I had with my therapist for recently, for this month and last month and next month, they all got shoved forward by me going in, getting checked in last month. So I gotta wait even longer for these appointments to talk to my doctor to get fixed with this so that I can get back to mental stability and go into court like the person that I am and defend myself right. I can't do that with all this on me right now, though. I need time to heal, and the court needs to understand you can't just put a mentally ill person through this trauma and expect them to be able to play ball. They need to be able to heal and be fully cognitive in order to do this. But taking that deal would make me look the guilty one that everyone wants me to look, instead of going after the real criminal of that day that erroneously brought the cops to the place pointing shotguns and rifles at my head.
Can I call you right back? I am so sorry.
Sure, it's okay, I understand.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Hey, yo. Tap in. Oh. Now what the fuck are you watching? Sound like a couple of lesbians over there. I know what lesbians sound. I like lesbians. I know what that sound like. Yeah. Oh yeah. Goddamn, nigga, don't yell. Shit. Loud motherfucker. Oh, shit.
Powering on.
There's a whole ass shotgun down here. Enough. Please. Oh.